to the ground. As you come forward to begin your turn to the other side, it spirals up again and then spirals down as you sink into the dragon stance on the other side. The spinal cord is twisted in this movement. When Master Su was younger, his teacher had him practice this move holding 2 buckets of water, each weighing about 40 pounds. He was supposed to turn without spilling water. This movement helps to develop good downward power in martial arts. For example, notice how Master Su uses this move on Marit. He attributes his downward power to holding the bucket of water. Begin by turning to your left. You should inhale before you turn and exhale as you turn and go into a dragon stance. Notice that when you turn your head 90 degrees, it lines up with your right shoulder and vice versa on the other side. Notice also that you must let your arms drop as you lower yourself into the dragon stance. As you go back up, you should inhale before exhaling as you turn and go down on the other side. After completing 8 moves on each side, bring both feet together and raise up on your toes with your hands at chest level, palms facing away from you. Cup your palms slightly and press them away from you as though you were pushing against a wall. The toes become stimulated when you stand on them, as this stimulates the brain, especially the cerebellum. This is the balancing move. Master Su will now review the sequence emphasizing the breathing. Notice how Master Su maintains his center line or axis in the same plane as he does the move. As you do the balancing move, notice that you need to lean forward slightly. The 5th posture is called the Demon Searches the Sea. The purpose of this is to develop flexibility in your spine and to develop spring power. The first movement is yin. Stand with your right foot stepping on the left and raise the right arm over your head and place your left hand against your spine just above your belt level. Bend your spine, allowing your arm to drop and strike lightly against your thigh. Come back up and bend again, allowing the arm to again drop. This time, change hands and bring the left one over your head. Repeat this sequence 8 times, and then switch legs and do the same sequence on the other side. It is not necessary to control your breathing while doing this exercise. The yang movement begins in a horse stance, with the right hand at the waist and the left hand extended away from your body on the left side. Grab with the left hand. Punch down towards your toes with the right hand and rotate into a 7-star stance as you exhale. Back to the horse on the opposite side and repeat the same procedure. Do this 8 times on each side. The adjustment stance is done by standing with your feet together, body tilting forward and palms pressing down as you raise up on your toes. Imagine that your head is pressing against the ceiling. Your eyes should be focused slightly upward as you do this move. Hold this posture as long as you comfortably can. There are certain principles that we need to discuss at this point. If you want to bring qi into the dantian, there are certain principles you need to be aware of. First of all, your tailbone has to be tucked. Secondly, the chin has to be kept in. Thirdly, the shoulders need to be dropped or rounded. And if your arms are extended, you need to sink your elbows. To achieve a proper dropping or rounding of the shoulder, you need to pay attention to your shoulder blades and be sure that they are sinking down. These principles are known to Tai Chi practitioners as well as those who practice other martial arts. The sixth exercise is called to open the windows and let the light shine in. This trains the dantian qi for use of explosive power so that the qi can be exploded from the dantian with the force of a bullet. It also improves the qi's ability to cross from one side of the body to the other through the spinal cord. It also trains the brain by increasing your body's ability to balance itself. The first movement is yin, which deals with crossing from left to right and right to left. Inhale as you begin, with your fists crossed over your head, palms forward, and elbows slightly bent. Bring your arms apart, describing a circle, until they reach your waist. Your right fist stays at your waist as your left fist comes up in front of your chest. Turn your waist left as you pivot on your heels and raise your left toe up and hold your breath. Open your hands as your waist continues to turn and you drop into a dragon posture with the left arm on top and facing up as though to protect your head, and your right arm is pushing forward at the bottom of your rib cage. Repeat the move on the other side. Do these moves 8 times. The yang movement trains the dantian particularly in terms of explosive power. Stand with your body in a bow and arrow stance, pressing your navel and dantian area forward. Your arms are at your sides and dropped with the back of your palm facing front and the fingers dropping towards the ground. Rapidly shift your weight backwards as you exhale and raise and turn your hands so that both palms are facing up at shoulder level, being sure to sink your tailbone as you make this move. This stance is called a 70-30 stance because 70% of your weight is on your back foot. As you go backwards and lower your tailbone, it is important that you also let your dantian fold inward, as though bringing it to the back of your body. The adjustment move involves standing with your feet together and your arms at your side. As you raise your palms towards your face, lean back on your heels and allow yourself to balance on your heels as you look at your palms. Be sure to keep your toes off the ground and pointed up at all times. The seventh move is called Wei To. The guardian saint offers his weapon. Wei To is the statue that stands behind the goddess of mercy. He always carries a big staff in his hand. This exercise is useful for training the brain, the back muscles, and stimulating your kidneys. Chinese martial art emphasizes the dantian and the kidneys. The dantian is the reservoir of the qi, and the kidneys is the gate of the qi. This exercise works to strengthen the gate, while at the same time training the brain in such a way as to improve coordination and physical balance. The yang move begins as you exhale into a horse stance. Press your palms tightly against each other in front of the chest. Inhale as you slowly pull the palms apart and rotate the forearms until you are pushing your palms away from each other. Exhale while you clap your hands above your head, and inhale as you bring the palms down to shoulder height and use the motion of your arms to bring yourself to your normal height. Repeat this move as many as 8 times. The yin move involves closing your hands so they form a loosely shaped fist. Holding them one above the other, rotate them in opposite directions, while at the same time rotating on your feet in the same direction as the upper. There are actually 3 circles. The hands, the feet, and the head also describes a circle as you do this exercise. After making each rotations, change hands and rotate in the opposite direction. Breathe naturally during this exercise. The balancing move involves natural breathing. Place your left hand on your kidney and hold your right fist in front of your chest as though you were wrapping it around a post. Do not make a tight fist and be sure that your arm is rounded. Rotate your waist to the left and remain in this position for a few moments. Return to the first position and change hands. Rotate to the right. Repeat this move 8 times. The 8th move is called the Old Monk Meditates. Years ago, before modern technology, doctors had to rely upon this inner voice to diagnose their patients because they lacked other means. This exercise will help to develop this intuitive ability within you. Thus, we can call this an early warning system that will better enable you to seek prompt and